Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to XDefiant. Quite possibly one of the most controversial aspects of this game is weapon XP, how ridiculously slow it is, and also people not fully understanding exactly how weapon XP works. Well, I reached out to a developer because I was confused myself. I had questions like, for example, if I get a headshot, it shows up giving me bonus XP. Does that bonus XP apply to my weapon or not? When it comes to kill streaks, of course, you get the kill streak notifications. Do those also apply to your weapon? I was confused. I reached out to a dev. They responded back, and here is how weapon XP works within XDefiant. Primary weapons and secondary weapons are a bit different. Primary weapons need 3,500 XP per level, and secondary weapons only need 1,500 XP per level. Each kill within XDefiant is worth 100 XP, and each assist is also worth 100 XP, but then things get a bit more confusing. So things like offensive kills, when you kill somebody who's on the objective, that does count towards your weapon XP, but things like point blanks, headshots, and kill streaks do not. And you also get some weapon XP for destroying enemy equipment, such as shooting down a phantom shield or destroying a dead sec spider. Basically, the system is very simple. You shoot your gun, you get XP. There are no bonuses to weapon XP for getting assists with EMP grenades. You don't get more XP for getting assists with using something like the Echelon Intel suit, or even capturing a neutral flag in domination. That does not count towards your weapon XP, and I think that's where the system sort of falls apart. Weapon leveling is painfully slow, let's just be honest here within XDefiant, and I think that's because it's basically boiled down to your kills and your assists, with the occasional offense medal being thrown in there. This means that if you're not playing on a smaller map like Arena, you can go through an entire match, maybe drop 30 or 40 kills, but then you're only getting 3,000 to 4,000 weapon XP out of that match, which is not even close to enough for 2 full weapon levels. This is what's causing the game to kind of feel slow in some senses when it comes to your progression with your guns. You get in there, you drop 40 kills and maybe a couple of assists, and you still don't have enough XP to get 2 full weapon levels because that requires 5,000 weapon XP. I think that's causing a lot of fans to kind of get a little bit upset with how the system works, but I do think they intentionally made the weapon XP gains to be slow because weapon XP currently is one of the main progression paths within XDefiant, and they plan for this to be a multi-year game. They're hoping to have XDefiant be around for years and years to come, and as such, if you're a pretty casual player, you can expect to have a lot of weapon grinds to go for over the course of the coming weeks, months, and even years. If you're a hardcore player that plays like 10 hours a day like Parasite, then yeah, you can expect to eventually get gold on every single weapon, but it's going to take you some time. I have seen some people for some reason saying that it's going to take 100 hours of in-game time to get your gun gold, but honestly, that's just pretty silly. If it takes you 1 hour to get 25 total kills or assists, then yeah, for you it's going to take that long, but I think for most people, getting 25 kills or assists combined does not take you 1 hour. Overall, the fastest way to level your guns within XDefiant, in my opinion, is to play modes where you're getting tons of kills and assists. Obviously, something like Occupy is the best game mode in my opinion, because a lot of the maps are smaller. Typically, if a smaller map shows up in the rotation, the community is going to vote for it when they remember they can vote, and then from there, the game mode is pretty fast-paced, and there are plenty of opportunities to get a little bit of bonus weapon XP for getting kills near the objective. Now, keep in mind, those weapon XP tokens that you have, save those for sure. The past 2 weekends of XDefiant's launch, we've had a double XP weekend. I don't anticipate them being around every single weekend, but so far, we've had a pretty consistent number of double XP events, and when you activate a double XP token during a double XP event, it gives you quad XP, which can actually be pretty crazy. Here's an example, and I apologize for the quality because I was not recording. I had to go get this off of my Twitch stream, but I enter this game of Occupy on Arena using the MP5. When I get into the match, my MP5 is basically a fresh level 28, and by the end of that match, my MP5 just hits weapon level 36. That's 9 weapon levels in one match, thanks to the quad XP you get by using a token during a double XP event. So there are situations where weapon XP can go ridiculously quickly. There's other situations, however, where weapon XP feels painfully slow. For example, maybe you're playing zone control and the other team's not really moving a whole bunch and the game is kind of just dragging on. You're not getting a whole bunch of kills, you're not getting a whole bunch of assists, and it just feels like you're getting, 15 kills worth of XP throughout a 10-minute match. When that happens, it feels really bad. If you're really looking to level up your guns very quick with an XDefiant, obviously utilize your double XP weekends and combine those with your weapon XP tokens. But the big thing, play game modes like Domination or Occupy, pick your poison. But for me personally, I find that Occupy tends to offer the most weapon XP because you tend to have slightly longer matches, more kills, as well as more opportunity to get kills on the objective. Now, moving forward, I feel like they should probably rework how weapon XP works for the XDefiant, just because I worry that people are going to get burnt out on the grind being too much of a grind, right? There's a very fine line that they have to walk here in terms of giving players things to do, but also burning fans out because the things to do are just really grindy and take forever. I think a pretty good compromise to this would be to keep the fact that things like your different factions are not going to affect your weapon XP. You know, don't incentivize people to only run one faction because that one faction is mathematically the best at leveling weapons. Maybe keep that stuff out of there, right? But one thing that they could do to make weapon XP feel a lot better is award objective play even more for your weapon, right? If you're capturing a domination flag, even if nobody's there to contest you, if you capture a domination flag, those points should go directly into the weapon that is currently in your hand. If you're playing hardpoint, you're sitting there holding onto the hardpoint every few seconds, it's ticking, giving you a little bit of XP for your player. That XP should also be applied to your weapon, at least in my opinion. So that way, you're still rewarding people for being aggressive, right? You're still rewarding people for getting kills and getting assists and, you know, getting into the thick of things, keeping XDefiant as a fast-paced arcade shooter. But at the same time, if they were to rework this a little bit and make it so not only do your kills on the objective count, but actually scoring the objective, make it so that counts for your weapon as well, I think we might see a better situation for XDefiant overall, where more people are playing the objective. Because right now, if you want to level up your guns fast, you can kind of just ignore the objective, because really the only things that matter are your kills and your assists. If your capture time on the hardpoint actually counted, if you taking a flag actually counted, if you getting those little tags within hotshot actually counted towards your weapon XP, then I think a lot more people would be a lot more keen to play the objective, which overall would be a net positive for XDefiant as a whole, at least in my own personal opinion. But ladies and gentlemen, there you guys have it. There is arguably one of the most controversial aspects of XDefiant right there. There was an update that went through yesterday for those that missed it, but it was a pretty small update. It was mostly security issues and things like that. I'm interested for the first major update to XDefiant, which should be coming out in the relatively near future. Things like nerfing bunny hopping, giving flinch to snipers, because good lord, they absolutely need it, and perhaps changing up weapon XP. Like, I'm excited for the first big update for this game. We are just a couple of weeks away from Season 1 starting, which of course is going to add a new faction, new guns, new maps, and new everything. So XDefiant has a pretty bright future ahead. Right now, during the preseason, I think they're really trying to nail down the netcode of the game. Of course, we need that update as well, but they're trying to get the core foundation of XDefiant up and running and make it as smooth as possible, because from there, they can build each subsequent season off of that foundation. Well, as part of that foundation, I do feel like weapon XP should be adjusted in some capacity to reward people for playing the objective more, which again, I think would just be an overall positive for the game as a whole. But I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and feedback on the weapon XP grind for XDefiant down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.